to my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. Today I am kicking off a sewing project. So this will be a different sewing project. I'll be in a different location. I'll be in my childhood house growing up. So I am just, filming the kickoff a few weeks in advance. So I am using Butterick 8083 from the 1950s. You can see it here. It's really beautiful. It has rickrack, which I've never worked with before, so I'm excited for that new challenge. And then it also is like super tight waist, so I'm excited to kind of figure that out, tailor that, all that jazz. I think this is such a beautiful pattern, and it'll make such a cute Christmas dress. For the fabric, I did not go with your standard red and green. I don't really love red and green together. I don't super love Christmas colors, and I will make other Christmas garments that are red and green, but for a dress, I won't keep a red and green dress very long. So instead, I picked up this really beautiful light blue fabric. It has all these little people on it, kind of going about Christmas activities. I think it's really cute, and I'm really excited to make it into a garment. But I will see you when I start cutting the pattern in my parents' basement. I will be working out of my mom's sewing room, which has kind of become a storing disaster, so we're going to kind of see how that goes, and I'm not sure how the lighting will be, so all of this is my disclaimer for hopefully the process part of this video looks okay and not completely cruddy and crazy, but you never know. You can see behind me, I am in my parents' basement, so I have a lot of more space actually to sew. I think the square footage I have to sew in here is more than my whole square footage of my apartment, so this has been super fun. As you can see here, I have a full-size ironing board, which is very exciting for me. And then I have all of my pieces laid out and ready to cut down here on the floor. We barely just had enough. I forgot this was a directional pattern, so I needed to order more yards. So as you can see, we're a little tight on the edges on this one. And then we're a little tight in here, but I'll still have enough to do a couple masks. Nothing super huge to note here, other than I did have to pre-shorten the skirt to make this yardage work, and since I usually cut 4 inches off the bottom of every project, I went ahead and folded up 4 inches. And then I was going to do a long sleeve, but due to yardage shortages, I am now doing short sleeves, so I'm going to follow this line here in the cutting process. But everything is pretty much pinned and ready to go, and I'm really excited, and I really love this pattern. I think it's so cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started cutting it. I'm gonna do 2 pairs of pockets since the zipper's in the back, so that'll be great. But that is pretty, whoa. Oh, I forgot to show you my sewing machine setup. And then this is my mom's official sewing area. She's probably embarrassed by how messy it is and doesn't want this on the internet. But this is the machine I'm sewing on. It's an Elma. I actually really like it. I don't like it as much as my own machine, but I think no one ever likes anything as much as their own machine. But I do really like it. It is really smooth and quiet. And then if I wanted to, I also have this older Singer here to sew on, but I have just been sewing on the Elma, or Elna? It might be an Elna, not an Elma. It's so funny because it doesn't even have the brand really on here. Elna with an N. But yeah, so this is exciting. I have a lot to get done and work on. I will probably check back in with you guys after this is all cut. Alrighty guys, everything's cut. I've already made several relatively big mistakes, which is never great. So I'll kind of show you where things are at. Here is all the pieces I have cut. They're all good. These are the skirt and the back pieces. They're good and ready to go. I don't need to assemble those for rickracking. Over here by the sewing machine, I have my thread all set up, and then I have the collar, which is quite the problem, which I'll explain in a second, and then I have the top and the waistband that's going to get all the rickrack on it, so I just need to get this sewn together and this sewn together and get it ready for rickracking. Weird verb. But to kind of explain what happened with this piece of joy, so I didn't need 2 of each pieces because we're just folding these in half, so I wasted space that I could have really used on cutting 2 of them. And so like, for example, you can see in this piece, the waistband, I have like this little cut here. You can't really see it here, that I would not have normally done, and so that's a huge bummer. And I ended up having to waste a bunch of interfacing, because first I cut out this interfacing, which is a heavier one, assuming that it was going to be single thickness, and then when I realized it was folded, I was like, that's way too thick. So then I cut out one of these, but I cut one backwards, and so I like tried to I tried with that to rip it off and sew it to the other one, but they were like the wrong size, so I just kind of caused a big headache for myself, which is funny because I was thinking, no, for my check-in, this is such a simple pattern and this will be actually fairly easy and straightforward. So far not true. Hopefully we progress and get better, but I will check in probably when I have these ready and I'm pinning the rickrack on it, I think, or maybe marking for rickracking, I don't know, but I will check in sometime after I have all of these assembled. Alrighty, I am in the bar area in the basement that I kind of use as my cutting table, but in this case I'm going to pin here. It's a nice height for me to stand and do that. I already got started pinning some things. As you can see, I have the rickrack pinned up on the seam line. However, I do actually think I'm gonna undo this because this pleating is kind of not great compared to this one, and they're really different in where they're hitting as well. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this stitching and redo this pinning. However, I did do the pinning along the bottom, and then getting started with the collar pinning as well. I'm really excited about this. I love this rickrack. I think it's so pretty, so sparkly, and like the right amount of sparkle, so I can still keep this kind of in my everyday winter wardrobe. But so far everything is shaping up and looking cute, so I'm gonna continue on, and yeah, I will probably redo this bit just for fun, but I will be pinning and doing all that jazz, and then I will check in after probably this is hand stitched on. Alrighty, it's the next morning. I have gotten all of the rickrack sewn. I will show you that. So as you can see here, it is all sewn on. Trying not to block my light. I will flip it over and show you. I don't know if it's focusing, but you can kind of see I just stitched each on the point here. I think it looks much nicer than when you like sew straight down the middle. So this was definitely worth taking the time to do, but now I'm going to start assembly. So I'm going to sew the front to the back, I guess, and then I'm going to start to sew in the pockets and all that jazz into the skirts, and I think that is where I'm going to get started this morning. I will probably check back in once I have the full skirt and the full blouse like kind of ready to start assembling together, I guess. Okay, we are kind of updating. I went a little further, wow, than planned, so I will show you real quick. I have the bodice and the skirt pretty much done. So here is the bodice. I went ahead and did all the hand stitching inside so I could get it tried on and made sure it fit. So it does fit. I'm unhappy. This kind of like really pops up in the back, so I'm gonna probably have to tack it down, and it was too big, so I had to, like, the pieces didn't fit right, so I had to put in these pleats to get it to fit in the space, since obviously I don't want the collar at the front overlapping. But otherwise it looks pretty good. On trying it on, it doesn't fit great, but I find that to usually be the case when I first try on a bodice without the skirt. Usually the weight of the skirt makes it fit significantly better, so I'm not too mad or upset or whatever. I think it'll all work out just fine. And yeah, I do think unfortunately this is going to need a bit of tacking to like stay where I want it to. And then I do also have the skirt, so it's interesting because they have you stop the gathering. Let's see if I can show you that. Stop the gathering in the front, and I'm actually kind of excited for that because I really like side and like back bunching. not benching, I'm not going to remember what it's called, gathering more, and then like having it be flatter in the front. I think that's really flattering. And then I went ahead and put in, I don't know if you can tell, but pockets. So that is all ready. So I just need to gather this and put it on the bodice. And then after that, I'm going to, I think, hem it. So I don't have too much left. I just have to gather this, attach it to the bodice, and then hem it. Next up, probably for you guys, will be the reveal. I don't think I'll show it before that unless I just show it in a flat lay, but I'll kind of probably save that for the end. So yes, the reveal will be the last thing I show you. So this is the wrap up here. As you can see, I have the dress here. I feel like I learned, as always, a lot making this dress. So in this case, I added in pockets, which I am proud of myself for remembering. I really like the like skirt pattern of this. Like I really like how it sits flat here and then gathers the rest. I think it's really, really flattering and kind of makes for an extra fun like swooshy skirt. The collar could have been like a million times better. It sits a little bit weird. I did have to tack it down. I won't use interfacing in the future. It did not say to use interfacing, but usually when they say not to use interfacing, it's because they assume you know to. And so I didn't, and I think that's one of the reasons it ended up so weird. It has like the weird pleats here. It's pulling up weird in the back. So that wasn't ideal, but I think I learned from it, and I do really like this pattern. I will definitely use it again. I think it's really cute and flattering. I love the like waist through here. It took a little bit, it took a little bit of tailoring to get it right. It kind of like bunched a little bit weird here, but now that I have it tailored the way I want, I think it looks really, really nice. And I just, what was that? I am really proud of my use of trims here. I think my trims look really, really nice. I should get comfortable machine stitching trims, but I'm just not there yet. So for now, I hand stitch, and I also just think hand stitched trims look a little bit better because you can make the stitching really not noticeable. But yeah, I think this is a gorgeous dress. I really loved this pattern, and it was really a pretty easy make. This is one of the easier dresses I've made recently because while there is a collar, it's not like a traditionally constructed collar, so it was a little bit easier to do. And then I do actually not mind the way the back zip works, so I did put in a polyester zip, which usually I'll stick to metal. The biggest thing that I will steal from this from this dress is the skirt pattern. I think for other dresses, I'm going to apply this skirt pattern because I just like it so much. But yeah, I'm proud of this, and happy holidays and have a good new year. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am trying right now to put up one of these sewing project videos once a month, and so stay tuned for my next one. I will also take place in my parents' basement. I will see you next time. Bye!